the operations of the toilets which we have made, they were supposed to do a 600 seat capacity toilet by themselves. तांची कितें जाल्लें तें रिव्यू घेतलो कित्याक there are challenges from various sectors of the coastal belt where आमदार जावन नाल्यार पंचायत जावन नाल्यार टुरिस्टीक लोकेशनाचेर टॉयलेट्स ना ही कथा म्हाका दिसता कितलीशींच वर्सां चालू आसा आनी हो सरकार येवच्या पयलीं एक एग्रीमेंट सायन जाल्लो विथ अकतवा म्हणून एक कंपनी where it was they were supposed to come in other than looking after our toilets which they were supposed to be on a revenue model, they were also supposed to ensure that they are taking up new toilet seats. So ह्यो गजाल्यो आज पर्यंत पळयलें जाल्यार ताजो रेव्हेन्यू येना आनी नायदर इज ही एबल टू कम अप विथ अ सिंगल एडिशनल सीट. सो ही सव्या फाटी ताका आपोवन वी हॅड गिवन हिम टायम एवरी टायम टू कम एंड ही वॉज गिविंग वन ऑर द अदर रिजन. So the empowered committee today has taken decisions on subjects which were related to infrastructure in terms of toilets, in terms of parking, in terms of issues which were there, in terms of operating, appointing O&M partners. हे आज आमी थोड्या एक्टिविटीजान घेतिल्ले आसा. केसरवाल सारकेल्या जाग्यार opportunities where the local MLA also Anton Vaz has been calling for things to be done. थंय प्रपोजल कितें घेवपाक जाय तोय आज डिस्कशनाक आयिल्लो. सो ह्यो गजाल्यो करता आसतना थोडे इन्फॉर्मेटरी आशिल्ले. देर वर प्रोजेक्ट्स विच आर रिलेटेड टू द वेलनेस सेंटर एंड रिसॉर्ट proposed at on JV mode at Farmagudi. Similarly, development, operation and maintenance of mini convention at Margaon. तशेंच GTDC रेजिडेन्सी एट म्हापसा, रिडेव्हलपमेंट ऑपरेशन्स एंड मेंटेनन्स हे सगळे प्रोजेक्ट्स नॉलेजी खातीर तांणी इन्फॉर्म केले द स्टेटस ऑफ द पर्टिक्युलर टेंडर्स विच हॅव बीन इश्यूड. आनी एक आमी टुरिजम इन्फॉर्मेशन काउंटर्स थ्रू आउट द स्टेट वी हॅव रिव्यूड दॅट पर्टिक्युलर पार्ट. टुरिजम इन्फॉर्मेशन काउंटर्स म्हणच्या पेक्षा henceforth we would call it as tourist hubs or tourism hubs or something like that. In that line of action की फक्त टुरिजम हबान फक्त टुरिस्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन काउंटर न्हय तर ताजे बरोबर चेंजिंग रूम, शॉवर एरिया, टॉयलेट्स, मेडिकल एरिया, पुलिसे खातीर एक धाकटोसो जागो, कोवर्किंग एरिया, हे सगळे करून एक ऑल थिंग्स वीच इन्क्लूड द टुरिस्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन काउंटर. कित्याक जो टुरिस्ट येता तो अर्दो टुरिस्ट दर्यान वता एकटो भायर आसता कित्याक बॅगां पळोवपाक बाकीचे आनी आमी उलयत आसात. बट वी नीड टू मूव फास्ट एंड स्टार्ट मुवींग ऑन इट. ताजे खातीर टुरिजम इन्फॉर्मेशन काउंटर्स जे आमी पयलीं केल्ले 4 काय 5 they were given to for operations to Akatwa again to make them commercially viable and come back. Unfortunately those also have still not met the target line. So ती जी रेडी आशिल्ले स्ट्रक्चर ताजे कितें करप आनी हे फुडें नवो प्रोसेस कसो तयार करप हाजेरूय आज चर्चा जाल्ली आसा. अशे काही विविध विषय आज इम्पॉर्टंटली which we have discussed also includes reviewing of the and the evaluation of work done by KPMG as our consultants. Whatever they were supposed to do in terms of preparation of the tourism master plan and tourism policy of the state of Goa, they were told to present. Their presentation still needs improvement, so we have asked them to look at it and revisit and come back to us, having more information. That post-COVID, they were told to relook and revisit the whole plan. That master plan परत पळोवपाची गरज आसा कित्याक टुरिस्टाची येवजण टुरिस्टाचे एक्सपेक्टेशन चेंज जाल्ले आसा आनी ताजे खातीर ताज्या प्रमाणे एज वी टॉक अबाउट स्पिरिच्युअलिटी, वी टॉक अबाउट वेलनेस, वी टॉक अबाउट माइस, वी टॉक अबाउट एडवेंचर, वी टॉक अबाउट इको टुरिजम एंड हिंदलँड्स. इट इज इम्पॉर्टंट दॅट दीज पार्ट्स विच वर देर इन द ओरिजिनल स्कोप ऑफ KPMG कितें केलां, कशें करतले एंड हाऊ वी रिव्यू इट पोस्ट कोविड when things given to them. We have asked them to review this. Another part which is very important is what we are looking today with the help of the center is creating an iconic structure, especially in an area like Mandre, which is दोन आसा. आमकां गोंय परशुराम भूमी म्हणटा पूण परशुरामाचें देवूळ परशुराम आनी पुरुषोत्तम काणकोण सोडलें जाल्यार हांगा आमकां खंयचोच आयकॉनीक स्ट्रक्चर ना नाल्यार हें ना टू डिसायड ऑन वॉट इट इज. So we have come with the idea. I had a certain thought in my mind which was shared by a local architect saying that creating fakta ek bow and arrow. The bow which you create, which will be close to the sea, after taking all compliances, need to have a structure where bow बायलांचें तसो structure आसा भितरल्यान सगळे amenities तयार करप. Arrow, bow न्ही, arrow. Arrowच्या भितर सगळे amenities तयार करप आनी arrow comes out near the sea. Where on from top you have a glass bottom which can the darya payta. It's a total different experience in terms of an iconic structure. So the bow and arrow घेवपाक Mandre as a location finalized केल्ले आसा आणि ताज्या खातीर कन्सल्टंट अपॉइंट करून रोखडोच immediately to work on that plan. We are trying to see how fast we can do, which will have a nice iconic structure to commemorate the event of Shri Parshuram with the formation of a bow and arrow in Goa. कित्याक मांद्रे म्हणटकर इट इज ऑलरेडी सेड की थंय हरमळ तेवटेन गेलो की यज्ञी कुंड थंय तुका ऑलरेडी नॅचरल रॉक फॉर्मेशन आसा आनी ते भस्म परशुरामाची आसा म्हूण ते उलयत आसतात. सो ताज्या खातीर थंय करपाक ते आमी लोकल आमदाराचोय रिक्वेस्ट आशिल्लो सो जीत आरोलकराचो. सो दीस इज समथींग वीच वी हॅव डिस्कस टू अपॉइंट अ कन्सल्टंट टू गिव अस फर्दर थॉट ऑन दीस पर्टिक्युलर एरिया. दीस इज एज फार एज द EC ऑन इनलँड अँड इन्फ्रा इज कन्सर्न. दुसरीच आम्ही एक घेतल्या इज टू इन्फॉर्म यू ऑन द ट्रिप विच वी आर डुईंग टू देहरादून विच वी हॅव बीन टॉकिंग अबाउट. इम्पॉर्टंटली आमचे प्रायम मिनिस्टरचे विजन आसा की देखो अपना देश म्हणजे आमचे द कंट्री इज सो डायवर्सिफाईड विथ डिफरंट कल्चर ट्रेडिशन हेरिटेज अँड वी से दॅट वन जनरेशन इज नॉट इनफ टू कंप्लीट द होल सायकल ऑफ इंडिया इट सेल्फ. विदिन दॅट द प्रायम मिनिस्टर्स विजन ऑफ सेईंग देखो अपना देश म्हणजे आम्ही भारतीय नागरिकांना आपलो स्वतः देश सगळो पळोवचो ह्या इनिशिएटिव्हान नव्या एअरपोर्टा बरोबर Tier 2 सिटीज तातूंत नागपूर, नाशिक, काशी, वाराणसी, अमृतसर, गुवाहाटी, देहरादून अशें कनेक्ट करपाक इंडिगो एअरलायन्स एंड GMR हॅव कम टुगेदर टू लायन अप विथ द Tier 2 cities. So tourism per se today we are taking one more initiative ahead, saying that we need to connect and ensure that we are having bilateral understandings between two states. आता states उलयता आसतना tomorrow the objective of going to Dehradun on the first flight is very clear that when we are talking about wellness, when we are talking about spirituality, when we are talking about yoga, there is a big scape of tourists that is coming post COVID who are coming for this particular space. Conventional learnings की UK नाल्यार रशिया which we have shared in the past, we have already started की UK आणि रशियाचे टोटल डिपेंडंट जाल्ल्याक मातशे वयर सकयल लास्ट कोविडा वेळार जाले, विजा खातीर जाले नाल्यार वॉरा खातीर जाले. when the numbers drop down we don't have any other things to look at and the business gets hampered. ताज्या खातीर one is we looking at emerging markets. Second is our domestic tourists having a direct run of flights within the two states. म्हणजे आम्ही देहरादून घेतले जाल्यार गोंयच्यान देहरादून डायरेक्ट फ्लायट आशिल्ल्यान डॉमेस्टीक टुरिस्ट गोईंग टू ऋषिकेश, हरिद्वार, मसुरी हॅव अ ऑप्शन ऑफ गोईंग डिरेक्टली अँड कनेक्टिंग देमसेल्स. इंटरनॅशनल टुरिस्ट जे येतात, जे ऋषिकेश येता, हरिद्वार येता, मे बी मेक्सिको नाल्यार बाकीच्या कंट्रीचे, ते हांगा पावत ना. ते हांगा न पाविल्ल्याक वी ऑल्सो लूज टुरिझम फॉर पीपल हू कम विथ हाय टुरिस्टीक स्पेंड. आणि ते समज पळयतले जाल्यार हांगा समज UK आनी रशियाच्यान तसले डॉमिनेंटली येतात आणि थंय समज वेगळे येता. हाऊ इज द चेंज ऑफ exchange of tourists that can take place? Again, the MOU which we talk about, having a lot of thought and exchange of culture, exchange of tradition. Donny states, although in the same country, are having different culture. One is the mountain, and here we are the sea. How we can come together, how the trades can talk, and how the trades can influence and take business together is the more important part which we are talking about. Representatives of the Goa Chamber, CII, and TTAG will be a part of our delegation which is going tomorrow to Dehradun, where we are having a understanding with the tourism minister and the chief minister there to have a MOU signed within the two states of exchange of culture, exchange of tourism, exchange of more thoughts which can come in and influence and start building each other as a state. So that nation building acha हातूंतल्यान very clear message that states have to build up and we need to start thinking out of the box. म्हणून ही एक जी कल्पना आयिल्ली ती कल्पनाच्यान आमी सुरवात करपाक फाल्यांच्यान करता. थंयच्यान we will be going next to Kashi, Varanasi and the other states also. Very importantly to start telling that we as states have to talk to each other and build up to one, look at the initiative, carry the initiative of our Prime Minister देखो अपना देश जे आम्ही म्हणतात ते. आणि दुसरे आमची जी रिच कल्चर आणि हेरिटेज आसा, नॅचरल हेरिटेज ऑफ द कंट्री आसा, दॅट नीड्स टू बी टेकन टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल. वी टॉक अबाउट इनक्रेडिबल इंडिया अँड ट्रुली इंडिया इज इनक्रेडिबल. And if Goa we have our plus points and Dehradun has their own plus points, we need to come together is one example which we want to take along. And Tajamagir government as a facilitator is getting into this. It is for B2B. म्हणजे the trade has to start talking to their trade which again the meeting has been aligned tomorrow evening after the post signing of the MOU. जातूंतल्यान तांच्याकडले धंदे एकामेकाकडे कशे करपाचे आणि कशे व्हरपाचे on ties and tie-ups is what we will discuss to ensure that a new thought of tourism starts coming into the state of Goa. After Dehradun, we will talk to our counterpart in other UP मध्ये आमची काशी वाराणसी आहे. मग other than काशी वाराणसी, we are talking about Amritsar, we are talking about Guwahati, we are talking about Nagpur, we are talking about Nasik, we are talking about आता तुम्हाला सांगितलं आहे ना सगळं 6 states. So we will respectively put our proposals to each state, and we want this particular part. The very important is the initiative of the Prime Minister and the initiative of our state to change the aspects from only sun, sand and sea to move into the hinterland, to move into spiritualism, to move into wellness, to move into yoga. These are things which today tourist wants to travel for. So how best we can reach out to the tourist with this type of services, we need to start thinking differently, and this gives us food for thought. A start today will be going a long way to create new points of avenues. It is not only domestic, but we would like to attract international tourists also in terms of exchange. And taja khatir trade jenna घेऊन बरं होता. More learnings will allow us to see what best we can do in terms of the initiative we have taken.
रिच हेरिटेज म्हणून जेव्हा तुम्ही बोलता टुरिझम बद्दल तेव्हा स्वदेश दर्शन अंतर्गत गोव्यात किती डेव्हलपमेंट केली?
स्वदेश दर्शन 1 मध्ये आम्ही ऑलरेडी वी हॅव टेकन 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स इन स्वदेश दर्शन 1. आता स्वदेश दर्शन 2 मध्ये वी हॅव जस्ट गॉट अवर consultant appointed by the center in the name of INH consultants, which have been preliminary given 2 projects. One connecting the coastal, which is Kolwa in the south, and second which is in the north, connecting from Porvorim to the hinterlands. So we are talking about 2 iconic projects. Another project proposal which we have put to the center is trying to take the scape of the change of thoughts Goa is going through, being a preferred destination where parts of Kanakona, Kepe and Mandre can be clubbed together to give another thing. So Swadesh Darshan मध्ये तसेच प्रसाद स्कीम मध्ये we are having the old Goa church from Basilica Church, where already the approval has come. There was archives and there was ASI clearance which was required along with NMA clearance. ते clearance सगळे NOC घेऊन आता I think we'll be going ahead. We will be talking to the concerned stakeholders at the old Goa church to the proposal which we had moved in the past, and ensuring that the work happens at the earliest before the exposition happens in 2024. Mini Prasad scheme in 5 temples गेल्ले आसा which are under the mini Prasad scheme of the center, and ती 5 temples एकदा approve जाऊन आयली की we'll start work on the 5 temples as far as Goa is concerned. Mini Prasad is a smaller scheme, but the budget is about 3 to 4 crores of rupees per temple. Prasad scheme is a bigger scheme where I think almost about 40 to 45 crores has been the scope of work as far as Old Goa Church is concerned. आणि स्वदेश दर्शन 1 जातका स्वदेश दर्शन 2 is what we have taken up तुमका आता सांगितल्याप्रमाणे.
How has the tourism department lined up as far as the upcoming exposition? Like, has this process already started getting high to promoting this exposition?
As far as this year's our event calendar is just getting finalized. The event calendar which will be for road shows and participation in those particular events where we want trade also to participate equally. ते करपा खातीर जे आमी आता इनिशिएटिव्ह घेतले त्या इनिशिएटिव्हान we want to showcase Goa very differently, brand Goa very differently than what it has been in the past while participating in such road shows. हातूंतल्यान G20 summit आमी ऑलरेडी उलयत आसात. आता एक्सपोजिशन जावपाचें आसा. आमचें कल्चर, आमचें ट्रेडिशन, एवरी रोड शोक, एवरी इव्हेंटाक बऱ्या प्रमाणात आमकां दाखोवपाची गरज आसा टू शो वॉट गोवा इज अबाउट, हाव मॉन्सून्स आर, how ecotourism is, how hinterlands are. Similarly, what events are coming in the year for Goa, major ones, that also need to be showcased when we go and participate to pull in the tourists so that they can plan their itinerary accordingly.
सर तुम्ही आता म्हटलं तुम्ही चेंजिंग रूम बांधलेले आहात विचारांचे तर तुम्ही ते कंपनी विचार लोकल बॉडी
जे स्ट्रक्चर लोकल बॉडी इज अ इंडिपेंडेंट बॉडी. लोकल आमी गव्हर्मेंट सो लोकल बॉडीक जेन्ना आमी दिवपाक सोदतात जाल्यार लोकल बॉडी वी नीड टू चॅनलायज द रेवन्यू मेकिंग. आमी हें जें करतात तातूंत रेवन्यू तयार करचें पडटा. रेवन्यू जेन्ना पार्टनर येता करपाक तो मेंटेन करता तो रेवन्यू सरकाराक दिता वीच फिट्स इन टू द थॉट प्रोसेस ऑफ ONM पार्टनर्स कमिंग इन. जेन्ना पंचायती दिता पंचायत इज ऑलवेज फ्री टू यूज एंड मेक देअर ओन फंड्स एंड मेक इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर वॉट डू थिंक इज इन द विलेज. आता कलंगूट पंचायत इज डुईंग अ गुड जॉब. ते आपल्याक कितें जाय तें करून घेतात. तशें म्हाका दिसता पंचायत थिंक लायक थिंग्स वील मूव बेटर. इट इज अवर थॉट प्रोसेस. सो थॉट ऑफ अ गव्हर्मेंट आता वी आर हॅव्हिंग इनफ challenges either way. So thought of a government goes in a very clear thing of mandating and ensuring that what we need to visualize and come down with.
But sir, Goa's image like is like
आमी म्हाका दिसता हाजेर इसीचेर आनी हाजेर दवरल्यार बरें. रिलेटेड टू दीस म्हाका कितें विचार कित्याक ऑफ द टॉपिक गेले जाल्यार you will come with a different thought than what we have shared with you.
Spiritual tourism. So what all activities are you expecting to happen in Goa as a spiritual tourism?
We will take a separate press on that because that will allow. It is to put it very simple and couple of lines. Goa is always known to be a destination for sun, sand and sea. नाल्यार ओल्ड गोवा चर्च आसता नाल्यार एक दोन देवळां आसता. स्पिरिच्युअल जेन्ना म्हणटात आमी इट इज नॉट ओन्ली अबाउट स्पिरिच्युअलिझम इट विल बिल्ड अ स्टोरी अराउंड इट. आमी छत्रपती शिवाजी महाराजा कडल्यान हांगा इट वॉज नोन एज दक्षिण काशी. सो वी हॅव ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड वर्किंग ऑन द कन्सेप्ट ऑफ दक्षिण काशी. दक्षिण काशी टू सप्तकोटेश्वर टेम्पल आशिल्लें. पोंडा तालुका पोर्चुगीसा वेळार तेन्ना पोंडा तालुक्यान देवस्थानां कित्याक सगळीं आयलीं. इल्लीं स्वयंभू टेम्पल्स आनी इल्लीं देवळां शिफ्ट जालीं. ती कित्याक जाली ही स्टोरी जी आसा जेन्ना आमी भायर वतात a simple wall is sold and said this is what the wall created आमी सेल्फीज काडटा ते. हांगा आमचे कडेन हेरिटेज कल्चर सगळें आसा वी ओनली नीड टू शोकेस इट. सो एज वी स्टार्ट शोकेसिंग इट एंड पुटिंग थिंग्स देयर इज अ ह्यूज percentage of people today post COVID traveling in terms of spiritualism wellness. So we are not talking only about spiritualism. Along with spiritualism we are adding yoga, we are adding wellness and we are making one thing. So तशें जसो रेडी जाता तुमकां आमी परत प्रेजेंट करून दाखयतले वॉट इज द थॉट. बट इम्पॉर्टंटली इज द परसेप्शन चेंज कित्याक गोंय म्हणजे पार्टी लायफ, गोंय म्हणजे नायट लायफ आनी गोंय म्हणजे आनी कितें हे थॉट प्रोसेस जो लोकांचो आसा तो गोवा इज मच मोर टू ऑफर वीच ऑल युअर माय मिडिया फ्रेंड्स हियर ऑल्सो वील एग्री रादर देन जस्ट टॉकिंग अबाउट वॉट वी हॅव और वॉट वी आर शोकेसिंग वी आर मच मोर एंड दॅट इज एक्झॅक्टली आमचो शिगमो आनी कार्निवलूच जातालो. अंदू आमी चिकलकालो सुरू करता. चिकलकालो मड फेस्टिवल जाताली पूण वी नोबडी नोज अबाउट इट. पूण आमचे लोक थंय स्पेनाक वता टोमाटांनी खेळपाक. सो वी नीड टू बिल्ड अप न्यू थिंग्स न्यू थॉट्स एंड गेट अवर सेल्स टू अंडरस्टँड दॅट वॉट वी हॅव इज वॉट वी नीड टू शोकेस and we need to do it with a very sustainable manner and also ensure that we retain our culture and ethos, not go overboard. So that is the model which we are wanting to do. TIC जे पयलीं केल्ले was a part of Swadesh Darshan scheme. But the TICs were made on a model which was revenue generating model where it was only not information counter but they had to also make commercialization of those locations and ensure the revenue comes to the government. But one model paylo and what we think we need to do, maybe we need to work little differently because the partner taken by the department earlier, or you come to know that it is not coming in the manner how it had to happen. Either TICs are not being looked at, अजून पर्यंत TIC बंद आसा तुमीच प्रेसान घालतात, TIC बंद आसा चालू करूना म्हणून, TIC ऑपरेशनल जाल्ले अजून प्रोफेशनली हँडल जायना, तशेंच इश्यूज ऑफ टॉयलेट्स एंड दीस कंटिन्यू. सो वील हॅव टू समवेअर टेक अ व्हेरी कॉन्शियस डिसिजन of putting things right if they have not gone right in the past. कित्याक कोणाक समज ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी दिल्ली करपाक ते समज टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड घेता जाल्यार वी आर आन्सरेबल टू द टुरिस्ट एंड दॅट इज द करेक्शन्स वी आर डुईंग वेर वी हॅव पार्ट फ्रॉम ऑल रिप्रेझेंटेशन्स फ्रॉम द ट्रेड ऑल्सो अलॉंग विथ अस फॉर द एम्पावर्ड कमिटी मिटिंग्स आणि जॉईंटली वी टेक डिसिजन्स विच आर इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ टुरिझम एट लार्ज. सेपरेट उलया तुम्ही न्यू टुरिझम सर्विसेसर पावले हे मागीर उलया. देखो अपना देश is only the statement, a visionary statement of our honorable Prime Minister. देखो अपना देश is a request to all the tourists in the all the Indians in the country to go into each other states and learn about the culture and the traditions of each other. आम्ही बाहेर वता न्ही, we go abroad. So rather first look at your own country is the initiative taken. We are adding flavor to it by saying it's not only domestic but also international, and we are to take it ahead. Goa is the first state to carry the vision of the Prime Minister in terms of Dekho Apna Desh by tying up with our sister state of Dehradun, of having MOUs in place where we will have collaboration partnerships for the trade to take these things ahead. That Dehradun and Uttarakhand is a different scape. Goa is a different scape. So understand that what we are trying to talk. So a tourist will have much better touristic experiences. And from here, we want a hotel to come out with their own schemes, the travel and tour coming up with their own itineraries, and how best we can do. So, Falya B2B meetings from the trade of Goa and the trade of Uttarakhand also will happen at the Chief Minister's house. Thank you.